Welcome to 5 Star Weekly. It was tough against Messi and Co. at nearly full strength. Can Atl Utd do it with a makeshift lineup on Saturday? We get into all that and more coming up. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to the show, 5 Star fam. I'm AJ, and this is Michael. And unfortunately, Atl Utd lost in a heartbreaker versus Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. And we will get into that review later on. But first, shouts out to our loyal Patreon fam, and most notably Gavin, Niall, Jordan, Andrew, Chris, Nick, and Jeff. Thank you guys so much as always. But yes, let's get into the match review, and it's brought to you by Rowdy Peach IPA, of course, the official craft beer of Atl Utd Fan TV. Definitely enjoy that bevy when you go out and get it in stores, because it's out in stores right now, so there's no reason not to. But yes, so Atl Utd at the Benz, man, it's a real late winner from Inter Miami, and man, it's just like not one of those things that you want to see too much happen, really, because it's usually us on the other side of that winning it late at the Benz. But it's an odd one. You know, we score first. We usually do pretty well when we score first, but then also, Lionel Messi is the anomaly, and him doing all the defensive work for their goal, and making us look silly, really kind of, I think, stunted that momentum. But we'll get to those things. But yeah, I mean, we started off pretty decently. I mean, first 20 minutes, probably some of our best minutes of the season. But again, it's a tale of two halves, and it's unfortunate. But before we get into the nuts and bolts of this match, let's hear from Michael and your take on the overall match.
It's not sky is falling. Let's just start there. It's not a desired result. Of course, you want to win at home, but this is against probably favorites for MLS Cup and the Shield. So I'm not like, oh man, this is the most rough thing in the world. I think some astute Redditors were posting and on our Discord about how, looking back at Ronnie Dyla's record over at NYCFC in terms of, what he did there, he lost the first 4 games there. And then it took a couple of games after that to really they started scoring, and then they started kind of finding their footing, and then all of a sudden they started winning, and they started winning a good amount. And then obviously the next season, it was kind of also a low point season to get to the playoffs and then to win the whole thing. But they still did it. They kind of caught fire at the right time, going into the playoffs. So, while we aren't starting off super hot, super crazy, this loss to Miami is not really, a nail in a coffin of sorts. So I don't think we have to be super worried about it right now. There's some indications that our game that we're playing is pretty good. Vlate Lot scored that second header. He was just a hair's breadth away from being onside for that. That would have probably shocked Miami into game stating them into hell. So hopefully we can continue to apply that level of pressure and score those opportunities more consistently as the season goes along. And a whole 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's well said, because basically the MLS season is very forgiving, and basically you can kind of sleepwalk a good bit of the season, and as long as you get hot into the playoffs, yes, you can do things. Does it look good for optics? Does it look good for it's an Inter Miami match that got prime time on Sunday nights on St. Paddy's Day weekend. And the very fact of the matter is we didn't sell it out. It was one of those games that Probably could have if it actually got its proper due. But at the end of the day, we played almost as good of a match as you can play against the league leaders, who are on a torrid stretch already, 4 games in, and they're undefeated. And the very fact is, we got beat by a late winner, so it's one of these things that
both goals are fluky too.
Yeah, and especially the first goal that Lionel Messi scored, it's ill-advised. It's errors that basically I think are preventable. First off, with Bartosz Slisz basically just dwelling on the ball in front of the box. That's just like silliness, absolutely. And then pretty loose touch, and Lionel Messi knew exactly what to do with it after he picked it up. It's sit your man down, and then also sit the keeper, Braguzan, and chip him, and that's just as cool as you like.
What he does, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like there's not many players in the world that can do that, and other players probably would have, at least probably try to maybe power shot a little bit, just try to get it past Braguzan. I mean, I think it's exactly what you do here is you sit everybody down and you show everybody who's the GOAT, and that's the rub there. But on our goal, to get the go-ahead for 1-0, I mean, it's an early ball from Brooks Lennon, and that's exactly what you're looking for from the right side. That's exactly what Ronnie Deila dialed up as well. And, that's that back post goal where Atl Utd, he rises high, and, he knows exactly what to do with it. And against Rocco Rios Novo, who not the tallest presence in the box, them without Drake Callender, you take advantage of that. And, that's a really well-scored goal, especially, from Lennon, an assist that, basically the 39th assist of his Atlanta United career. That's tied for all time with Julian Gressel, which is interesting, definitely from that right side as well. But I think that's the kind of service that you want to see. Early ball in, not always go to the byline and then just lump a ball in that is hopeful. It's just not exactly what I think we want Lennon to do, but this is. But on that late winner for Inter Miami, that's really where you wonder why there wasn't a player on the post. It's late, like 88th, 89th minute. Like, you have to have somebody on the post, because at that point, anything could happen. Like, who cares? It's not like you're gonna be, offside. Like, essentially, you make sure that both posts are covered in case anything happens, especially that late, because essentially you don't have enough time to find something. And I mean, usually I think it's Brooks Lennon on that, but I think he got he got substituted, and it's maybe just lack of wherewithal. But Fafa Picot is the softest header. It is.
It was slow motion, man. Watching that ball go in the net.
Ugh. And then also, like Derek Williams, kind of whereabouts near that ball. Braguzan kind of hesitated a little bit, and it's just murder she wrote.
Yeah, they both said that they thought the other one was going to go for it, which you can't do that. But
right.
We obviously know that.
Yeah, and I think it's solvable with a man on the post. But it's also Derek Williams. It was never his ball. Let's be honest. Like, if you're running towards goal as a defender, it's not your ball. Like, it's basically keeper should be pouncing on it essentially. And I feel like yes, he could have gotten to it if Williams was not in the vicinity. So it's a lot of factors that basically they're the reasons why we lost the match. But also,
there's also the reason how we got into that corner kick from the beginning with Jay Fortune just hoofing it out for potentially no good reason. I mean, the idea earlier with Sleesh and with Moranchuk passing it to him, which then came to his loose touch and then Messi scoring, was that maybe we should just clear the ball more. When you have something like a great white shark lurking around like Messi, you just want to kind of get it out when their whole team is pressing you. But when Jay did clear it, unfortunately he cleared it not in the way, I guess, the direction we all wanted him to. And then that carelessness ended up in them getting a strange header from a player you'd never expect to do it. And yeah, just very unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's one of these games that it looked destined for 1-1. It pretty much, like, as far as I mean, there was action, there was but it wasn't like breakneck. It wasn't this Atlanta United counterattack that we've kind of seen spurts of, where it's deadly. We essentially try to play Inter Miami's game, and Inter Miami's game with the one touch, the tiki taka, the playing through the lines quickly, touch and go, pass and move. It pretty much, we tried to do it, but yeah, Inter Miami are just much better at it, and they have the technicians, and for us, it wasn't okay. I don't think it was a straight domination to a degree of just like overwhelming numbers, but yes, they had the edge in pretty much every single category. The problem is that, yeah, we weren't trying to play, I think, our strengths in our game, especially when we were full strength pretty much, besides Muyumba. I mean, yeah, he had a great match the previous match, but Click being out with I believe a leg injury, and of course he was out the week before, apparently with the flu. It's just, yeah, this is pretty much our full strength lineup, and for that to happen, I mean, I think, yeah, it was a barometer test, and I think we looked decent, at least for the start of the first half, and then it's the same thing that we just cannot finish matches, at least so far this season. And I mean, if there's anything that we can glean, is that hope that, okay, if we can put two halves together, it might actually look pretty good, and we might start stringing some results together. But so far we haven't.
I think everyone needs to understand that will come. I believe, I think it will come. They just have to get more experience, time, chemistry together, and then that kind of full performance will come. So.
Yeah, exactly. And but yeah, Lat, he scored his third goal of the season, which leads the squad, and he's just 3 behind the Golden Boot leader so far. But also, Inter Miami's head coach Javier Mascherano, he said post game that they were surprised to see Miggy playing in a wide position, and he added that before they adjusted, Brooks Lennon and Almiron were finding success by overloading Jordi Alba. And I mean, I think that's what's interesting is Jordi Alba, he got frustrated. He put hands to the face and neck of one of our players, and it's one of these things where, as well, if you look at the game of the players in the middle there, Miggy with Moranchuk, they didn't cover themselves with glory in this match, I would say. Neither did Saba. Basically, our attacking midfielders leaving a lot to be desired so far. It's 2 assists from all of them and 0 goals. Yeah, we really need a lot more service. We really need them to produce. And yeah, we've talked about it a lot, I think, with Miggy, Moranchuk being in similar positions and just congesting these areas where, sometimes they're playing some one-touch football, and playing through the lines quickly, but other times it's like Saba is right there on Emmanuel Latelat, and
literally,
yeah,
literally on top of him,
right, basically defending him,
Yeah.
marking him to where his shot is uncharacteristically just not as powerful as it normally is. And yeah, it's just I don't know. Yeah, you have any thoughts on our attacking midfielders and
Yeah, I mean, no, you're
state of it?
100% correct. And I think everyone with eyes has started to see that our, middle part gets way too congested. There's guys occupying the exact same pieces of space or want to occupy the exact same pieces of space. I think that they're likely going to get better at not doing that, because I think Ronnie is going to nail it into them that, you need to just not do that. And they're smart players. I think they'll figure it out. But it just, we're not there yet. So, again, like, it's going to ask you to be a little patient for them to work that kink out, because these guys have all three of these players, like Saba, and I mean, I guess, like, I'll tell you, up for a fourth player, wants to operate in the middle as well, obviously, but more further up. But all the other three, Moranchuk, Miggy, and Saba, they all want to be in the middle, and they all convene because they invert. And Moranchuk is there as well, obviously, and then it just congests the heck out of things. Instead of making off-the-ball runs to open up space that, going either wide or what have you, we just kind of, everyone goes in the middle, and then it's pass 1, 2, 3, 4, right, in a very close proximity to each other, and then they lose the ball. Like, it has to be something a little bit more than that. So, at least with some more variability. And yet we're not doing that. So I do think that they will address that. I think it's obvious. Everyone online is talking about it. So of course the coach staff sees it, and I think that they will figure it out. I don't know if it will require personnel change in terms of switching players and positions. Maybe that would be an effective way to ameliorate that, but they've got to be working it out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they probably won't be able to work it out this week because Miggy and others are away, which we will get to. But yeah, so
and one more thing before we put a bow on this match, something that really concerns me, and this is something that has been a thing in seasons past, is the mentality of the team. When we scored that first goal, we were high flying. Everyone was kind of firing on all cylinders. Second supposed goal went in, everyone was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what the game plan was. This is exactly what we needed to do. And then it gets pulled back. All of a sudden, if you noticed MLS's momentum index, they showed ours precipitously just drop off after that moment in time. And then Miami's shot up, and it basically stayed that way for the rest of the game. And then the results followed. So I think in terms of mentality, they got to get that figured out as well.
Yeah, it's basically heads dropped, and it basically down tooled, and it was you could feel it. The fans were trying to kind of spur it on, continue to try to drive the team forward, but it was really tough. I mean, there just seemed to be a void of energy. And especially kind of in the second half a little bit, it was, I mean, even from Inter Miami, it was like just kind of pedestrian a little bit at times. And it's like a little bit one touch, but it's just like, they kind of lull you to sleep a little bit with the, their ability to just kind of play around you. And that's kind of the thing about Inter Miami that's just so tough. It's basically Barca light, and, very, very difficult to play against. But, yep, we will wrap a bow on this match, and Atl Utd will be playing FC Cincinnati on Saturday, and we will have that preview later on for you in this episode. But let's get into the news. And the MLS Disciplinary Committee has fined not only Miguel Almiron for 2 times for violating the simulation embellishment policy, but also, thankfully, Jordi Alba for hands to the neck and face of one of our players. So, and this is his second violation. So, yeah, Jordi Alba, he's a fiery one. And, it's one of those things. Nothing against, people of the shorter variety, but, listen, man. Like, tone it down. Tone it down. It's you're giving people the shorter variety a bad name. So.
Oh boy.
Anyway, but yeah. So next bit of news is that yep. There were only 14 outfield players for the training session on Tuesday, and yeah, we're in our international break, even though we have a game on Saturday. And the players that are out for international duty this week: Luis Abram with Peru, Miguel Almiron with Paraguay, Luke Brennan and Noah Cobb with the US U20s, Jay Fortune with Trinidad and Tobago, Stian Gregerson, of course, with Norway, Efrain Morales with Bolivia, Bartosz Slisz with Poland, and from Atl Utd 2 as well, Dominic Chonky and Caden Moore were called up to the US U18 for the international duty for them. So that's 10 players for Atl Utd. And that will gut a team for any sort of depth, regardless of an international break. But especially an international break, because it's like there is no chance that any of them can come back. So it's pretty much we have those 14 players, and probably we're gonna have to maybe use some Atl Utd 2 players, maybe as well. Just fill out the coffers with academy players for the Atl Utd 2 match that might be happening. But also, Edwin Mosquera, we don't know if he's healthy, and he went down on the field during the Atl Utd Inter Miami match, and pretty much we had to take a corner without him. We played with 10 players. He was on the sidelines. He needed to be treated. It looked pretty bad.
Yeah, weirdly enough, Ronnie didn't even notice that. He didn't even know he was injured. That happened. Yeah,
that's wild. And he wasn't on the pitch for very long. I think he was he had one touch, and then later on,
yellow card.
Yeah, yellow card, and then he ran into the boards and then stayed down. So hopefully he's okay. Man. Yeah, and the crux of it is we're gonna be without another player, and so that's 11 players out. So yeah, but yep. So it's gonna be real makeshift, but. Yeah, let's get to the next bit of news. Latte Lat, he said that the connection with Brooks Lennon and Pedro Almodovar is really good, and said he has studied them and worked with them and the other attacking players to know where to position himself. And he said he's focused on involving himself more in the game regularly, which I think, he was holding up the ball really well. He, I think had to drop deep a little bit at times to kind of collect the ball, kind of get some touches. But you kind of want to see a little bit more, like we were saying in the post-match fan reactions, probably him offside more, which means he's trying to run in behind. And I think it's like
all that kind of. All of them need to do
really
that.
All of them, especially Saba, especially Miggy, who have the legs to do so. But it really just seems like it's one of these things where it's like a Jose Martinez like 2019 kind of version, where it's like he's trying to get involved in the game, get some touches, but really what we need you to do is run in behind, continue to make runs, and put pressure on the defense that you're facing.
Yeah, and the more they do that, the more he does that, it gives the guys providing that service the practice on the timing, so they can get it right more often. If they rarely ever do it, most likely the times you do it, it's going to be a misweighted ball, and you're going to get the offside trap or something. So, got to do it.
Yeah, and so hopefully there is more of that. I mean, it's good to hear that he's studying his teammates, and I think it's the other way around too, though. Like, the service from your players needs to go to where the strengths of your attacker is, versus more so the other way around. So, but anyway, yeah, next bit of news. Atl Utd 2, they faced off against Orlando City B to a 2-2 draw. And yeah, the hosts, Orlando City B, took an extra point in the penalty shootout. But Luke Brennan, he got the first goal, and Ronan Wynn scored his first professional goal. So, yeah, congrats to both of them. But, yeah, last bit of news is that Paulo Neto, our EMLS player, he has won his second EMLS Cup, showing out for the Atl United EMLS team. And, yeah, 2 is better than anybody else that has ever done it in EMLS. So, yeah, he's right now the GOAT. So, yes, absolutely congratulations to Paulo Neto with playing EAFC, of course. But
Kid's got thumbs.
he's got thumbs. And he's looking jacked now, too. Man, like,
That's true.
I forget how old he is, but he's like early 20s. But, yep, you know, it makes sense. You know, play video games, work out a whole bunch, and, you know, he's making his coin.
Being physically I don't know if we got any gamers in the you know, who listen to this podcast, but, you know, working out does also help your video gaming if you're trying to do that as well. It helps basically everything that requires you to think. So definitely work out. It helps a lot with schooling, with everything.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, it's like, you know, he's not going to have the aches and pains from, you know, kind of sitting there all day. And I think that's going to be really huge for him in his longevity as a, yeah, I mean, he's technically an athlete. So, but yeah, so let's get into the mailbag, and you guys send in these questions through IG story and Discord, but please continue to do so, and we might answer your question in the future. First question comes from Don't Lose When You Can Win, BG. Is the team destined to play a 3-5-2 with Brooks and Pedro creating width resulted in our goal, and we need to relieve congestion in the middle?
I mean, like I said, there's a possibility Ronnie might look at doing personnel and or formation changes to adjust with what we're doing, but I don't know, so it remains to be seen. I don't know what the solution will look like that he picks from, but he's gonna have to pick something, and I think we will see some kind of something happen, unless, and like, you know, when we're back from international break, we get 1 or 2 practices in, 1 or 2 games in, and he's able to just drill it into them with the you know, the style that we're playing with right now, then okay. But if not, and if they found that we can utilize our strengths in a better way, I suspect we might see a change.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still probably going to be a 4-2-3-1 because it seems like he's kind of the stubborn type of manager that, I mean, at least starting wise, I mean, he might be fluid in finish matches with 3 center backs and all that, but I think as far as how he wants to set the tone, and especially, you know, with his time at NYCFC, with how Christian Polanco of the Cooligans mentioned that, yeah, he's not going to change too much. It's really kind of his MO. But if he were to, it would be interesting because, yes, we do have a good number of center backs if we actually have center backs. But, yeah, and so as far as that, yeah, you can play 3 men at the back. But, yeah, you know, kind of have that width and then allow for that congestion in the middle to be maybe something else that, you know, I think you might have to sit one of your DPs. And I think the obvious one would probably be Maranchuk. And at that point, yeah, it's probably Miggy in the middle as the 10. And then, you know, whoever you have as your 2 midfielders, but they're going to have to do a ton of running because, yeah, it'll be likely Click and Schleich. If we're going to say that that's maybe the most defensively sound, I have my doubts. And then, you know, probably it would be like Saba and Latelat. Probably Saba on the left and then Latelat on the right as the strikers. So as far as that, I mean, that would be the 3-5-2. I don't know. I think there's some frailties. I think there's, you might be able to have a box in the midfield maybe a lot easier in the sense that you have your 3 center backs and then probably Schleich, and you can protect against those counterattacks a lot easier. Which, okay, if you look at the 2018 season with Tata Martino and how we essentially figured, okay, this is how we're going to actually, I think, win these important games. Maybe it's something that's that Dyla actually does implement later on, but I think he's going to try to do everything he wants to do first and adjust later if things are not really truly working out. So I think it's a little soon for a formation change, but yeah. I mean, any thoughts on what I just said?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's as if things aren't working out. If the players just aren't able to adjust to what he's doing, then yeah, I think, like I said, I think we might see a change. But I fully agree, and history bears this out with him. His MO is to stay the course until, because I assume that he has faith in the players to figure it out and to learn. So hopefully that would be the case.
Indeed. But yeah, next question comes from there's quite a bit of negativity out in our really, I mean, everywhere really, but also in our mailbag questions. But Easton Olseth 1 says, "Why are we so shit?" And well,
we're not so shit. Just, I mean, first of all, we've been going up against killer teams right now. Yeah. Like, let's see what happens when we go up against some like average teams. Like I mean, it's interesting. I saw, like, when we were talking about what Ronnie Dyla did with New York City FC, his first 4 losses were also against the first, like 1, 2, 3, 4 top East teams when he was on New York City. And it seems to be, it's very possible that might shake out again to be the same thing with us. And then we could also follow suit, like New York City did. Who knows? But I don't think, while we're getting our feet under us, while we still have the training wheels on, us losing to cup contender teams, and not badly either. We didn't get played off the pitch in these games, really. I think that it's not, like I said, it's not the end of the world. So if we start doing this, if we start losing, dropping points like in silly ways, or, some of these mistakes repeat against like teams like, Toronto or New England or something like that, I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is not looking good. That's really not great. But against these top teams, I mean, I think it's a little forgivable this early in the season.
Yeah. It's shit, I think, is relative. And so I don't think we are at shit level. I think we are not playing to our strengths. Maybe the chemistry isn't quite there yet. Have we, again, like Mike said, been played off the park? Not yet, really. It's really been unlucky moments. And yes, if it becomes a like very, very patternistic thing, okay, yeah, we're gonna have to start to worry. But in Charlotte as well, I mean, yeah, we had some offside calls, and then they pretty much smashed and grabbed at home. And then, yes, CF Montreal, that could have been a 3-3 draw. But, fact of the matter is, it didn't happen. So there is that. But, so it's just like these are margins that are kind of tight at the moment. But next question comes from Land Guy in ATL. How do we get back to crosses to the striker from the wingbacks? Let's kind of first, I guess, really delineate that wingbacks are only present in a 3-man back line or a 5-man back line. So, those are right now what we have are fullbacks. And the fullbacks, yes, are, I think, doing... Yeah, I mean, Lennon came back in his first match, got an assist. And Pedro Amador...
Potentially a second, too.
Yeah, potentially a second. And Pedro Amador has, gotten a good number of assists, in his time already with Atl Utd. So I don't think that's really a get back to. It's a, okay, if we are doing it more with the actual players that's our first choice, then yeah. But yeah, any thoughts on his land guy and ATL's question?
Oh, I think you covered it.
Yeah. Yeah. Next question comes from Matt Rowles ATL. Why were those refs so bad on Sunday? Starstruck, and how do we get better second halves?
I mean, yeah, the ref thing was inexcusable. I mean, not even a look at for the handball was unfortunate. That seemed very controversial at the time. And then not even having like Andrew Wiebe address it on his instant replay episode was unfortunate. So yeah, it just kind of sucks getting the short stick there. And then some of the other things that seemed very preferential for Miami was just frustrating. I mean, you see it day in and day out. It seems like sometimes you hear about it in other games across the league. And then you retweeted that one thing about potential preferential treatment from refs. I don't let you talk about that.
Yeah, from Felipe Cardenas, who, pretty much, it's like, it seemed like there was a bit of that, and might have been confirmation a little bit. But, the speculation is rife, and it definitely feels that way, too. I mean, it's like the eyes and then the actual words are kind of bearing the same fruit. And I mean, ultimately, as well, you have the moments where there's mass confrontation from Inter Miami, and nothing. It's fine. It's apparently no big deal when you have Busquets and Jordi Alba, complaining about calls, and multiple Inter Miami players going up to the ref, and that's all well and fine apparently if they do it. But if other teams do it, by God.
Man, I am never gonna be like level-headed when thinking about Miami bias from refs, because when I saw Brad Guzan get chewed out by the referee for getting animated about being pushed into the net last season, he was the one who got in trouble in a talking to for being victimized. That I was like, okay, that's it. It's obvious now at this point. So yeah, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's the way my brain goes for every kind of controversial thing that the refs do for Miami now.
Yeah, it's quite blatant, really. Yeah, but anyway, next question comes from Jair Raimundo. Miggy to 10, Alexi to the right wing. I think with Brooks back, this can work pretty well. I think we talked about it in the post-match live stream, but you can give your take, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, like we talked about how there might be some changes afoot if players don't figure it out the way I guess Ronnie's trying to do it right now, or he finds that we can apply our strength in a different way. I don't know how it'll look in the future, but that's a potential. I hear a lot of people pushing back against it, that the right wing from Ranchuk is, I think he played that at Atalanta, and he had some success there with that, but for the way we play with the speed, I don't know, and the way Ronnie likes his wingers to bomb, I don't know if that would be to our strength in this setup. So that's kind of the pushback there. However, I mean, he's just clearly not doing it at the 10 for us. So, something's gotta give. I heard someone bandy about the idea of him possibly being at like a 6 or an 8, because he potentially could have the ability to stitch the midfield together really well with his kind of more visionary passes when he's not having to, crowd things up at the 10. So I don't know how that would restructure things or how feasible that is. But I mean, there are some ideas out there. There's some concepts, and it'll be interesting to see where it heads in the future.
Yeah. But before I get into my take on it, it's Don Julio 70 also asked, can we at least try it to see what it will look like with Miggy in the middle, please? So yeah, people are clamoring for it, and I think it'd be interesting. I don't think that it's the wisest thing, but let's pontificate on it. All right, so Miggy at the 10 and Ranchuk at right wing, or probably I would say a little bit more so withdrawn a little bit more. Probably more of a right midfielder, probably more of a wide playmaker per se, where he plays back a little bit more. Brooks Lennon can overlap a lot more and probably be that runner, that that person that actually goes beyond him. And then Miranchuk would be quarterbacking from deep a little bit, a la maybe a little bit opposite foot per se, like a Julian Gressel, and in that sense, trying to make things happen from deep a little bit more. I can maybe see that, and then so freeing Miguel Almiron into more space. Okay, yeah, maybe to be able to play them in different zones, I can maybe get behind that. But as an 8, I don't think he's got enough work rate nor the defensive nous to really help Schlieff out. But it would be interesting, because if he did play as an 8, who would play on the wing? Like, that's the other question too. So it's and if you're playing Miggy and Miranchuk in the center of midfield, it's a bit like it's very attacking. Like you're sacrificing defensive defensive ability for sure. So you have to make sure that it's a team that you can do that with. If they have, if we were playing CF Montreal or something like that, great. Okay, do that. But I think for most of the teams, if they have a strong attack, I'm worried. So, yeah, like something's got to give, but I'm not sure it's that. And I'm all for trying Miggy in the middle, but yes, something else has got to happen. And I mean, I don't know. It's one of these things where, maybe it is a little bit where Miggy and Saba switch wings a lot more, and then so they're not always inverting. Yeah, there's some, I think, variance, I think, and some dynamism that can actually happen with that, because it's a little bit more like a natural winger. And so basically feed Latte Lat. I mean, I'm totally okay with that, because it seems like he is a hungry player that wants to score goals. Just find him. So, but
I mean, and none of this is gonna matter until our team starts to make off the ball runs too in the offensive half. Like, it is crazy. We're a fast team. We're agile. We need to be like that. I don't know why we're so flat-footed when we're just like, our backs to goal, looking for a pass when we have like 2 players on you, marking you. Get open, do something. But no, we ball watch. So, it's frustrating.
Yeah, and it's a common thing for a lot of teams, unfortunately. Yeah, the ball is a thing that people are going to be drawn to. But
I mean, it's like, think of it like this. Like, what was it? Gramachi was like interviewed in Miami, and they're like, yeah, when Messi gets the ball, we know you just run, you just go.
Yep.
And I'm like, why can't we do that? Like, that makes sense. That makes sense because we're faster than them. So, right. But
it's true. There is that aspect of it, but it is also it's not just running for the sake of running, which I know that's not what you're saying, but it is also. Yeah, you got to make smart runs. You got to actually know how to curve your run and play in different zones instead of arriving at the same spot in the box and marking your own player in the box.
Yeah, which was talked about a lot today from a post we put out from our Bill Gluckman about, the anatomy of the goals and things like that we article that we put out. Yeah, Saba almost occupying the same space and drawing a defender unnecessarily in to try and mark Latte is not what we want to do. We want to have it so our runs are separate enough that you're not bringing defenders into positions that actually screw things up for us.
Exactly. But, yep. So last question comes from PattyIce_14. What is your take on people complaining about fans standing during games?
Fans are going to stand during games.
Yeah, it's really, it's like if you're a casual fan, you don't know, and now you know. You gotta stand. If you're an LA United fan, you're standing during games. If you don't know, well, yeah, it's one of these things that you're gonna find out. I mean, it's just like we stand. We've been standing for 9 years, and it's not gonna change. But yeah, so that does it for the mailbag, and it gets us to the match preview. And 2:30 on Saturday, just the weirdest time, but at the very least, okay, no, I don't want to be that negative. Never mind. But yeah, so the yeah, it's fine that it's at 2:30. We'll appreciate that it's at 2:30. But yes, versus FC Cincy at TQL Stadium. Yeah, FC Cincy, they last played against Charlotte to a 2-0 loss. They got a red card as well. So, yeah, it's definitely, Charlotte, they're doing some things. It's kind of annoying.
Top 4 in the East, probably.
Right. But, yeah, and unfortunately, against FC Cincy, we lost to them 1-0 last time. That was in May of last year. And our last 6 has not been pretty. We've got 0 wins, 3 draws, and also 3 losses as well. So it's, yeah, they have our number. They talk about us owning Inter Miami. FC Cincy pretty much owns us right now. And
Lucho Acosta owned Atlanta. So we'll see what this new one can do.
Exactly, because yes, Lucho Acosta is not part of this team anymore. He is with FC Dallas, of course, but the new number 10 DP Vander and the new number 9 Kevin Denke, they both are very dangerous players, and yeah, the defense is very, very good. Of course, Miles Robinson. Part of that, Matt Miazga as well. But, yeah, I mean, they are one of the best teams, and they didn't necessarily get worse, but I think they made some lateral moves in kind of being a team that's near the top of the East. But, yeah, like I said, Acosta has left, Yamil Assad as well, Chidozie Awizim, and Nico Giochini and Kevin Kelsey have all left. Like aforementioned, Denke, Lucas Engel, Vander, like I mentioned, Gilberto Flores are all the new players, notably anyway, for FC Cincy. And they do like to play with that 3 center back look, that 3-5-2, like we were, talking about. But yeah, they're that type of team that I think a lot of pundits are high on. They are pretty much, it's like either second or fourth in the Eastern Conference, except for Dax McCarty thinking that they're going to finish in first. So Dax,
really, Dax,
wow. Okay, man, okay. He's going for that kind of dark horse pick because I guess he doesn't like Inter Miami. He rightfully so, and in some degrees, But either way, last year they finished 3rd in the Eastern Conference. They in the playoffs went in the round 1 best of series. So they definitely have some ground to make up in a sense of with their fans. They're probably a little bit miffed. But, yeah, FC Cincy, they're a team very good on counterattacks, at least from also kind of dead balls. They're really good at shooting from those long shot opportunities as well. Defending as well from set pieces, protecting the lead. So, yeah, we're going to need to get a lead quickly in this game. But they're not a team that's really great at keeping possession of the ball so far. Not really great at finishing chances either. That seems something that we we know about. But they're kind of this team that's I think they're trying to figure out some things too, because there's
Yeah.
been, as much turnover as probably we have, and they definitely while they have our number, it may still be a little bit different in terms of how they are normally playing.
You're right. You're right. They're trying to figure things out still. A lot of transition in their roster. I mean, I don't know if you watched the CONCACAF Champions Cup game with them and Tigres, when in the first 30 minutes they looked really good, and then they just had a massive drop off too. And then Tigres ran up the score after that and looked, like a completely different game. So it's, they may have a mentality issue too, or they were just trying to figure out how to get things together, kind of like us. So it could very well be a not as disciplined Cincinnati team that we're used to. So who knows?
Yeah. So hopefully it is not that type of game that we're used to seeing from FC Cincy, but it's grim reading, at least for the match facts, because there have been under 2.5 goals scored in 6 of FC Cincy's last 7 games. So defense-wise, obviously that means pretty good, but also that they're not scoring as much as they could as well. But like I mentioned, they're undefeated in the last 6 matches against Atl Utd in all competitions. So that also reads for grim reading. But the odds also for FC Cincy, according to Bet365, have it at 55.6% for a win, a draw at 27%, and for an Atl Utd win, it's at 23.1%. So, odds makers, hey, if you're bullish on Atl Utd right now, make a bet, because you might win big. But or at least whoever is gonna be willing to bet on this match. But either way, so the unavailable players for FC Cincy, Miles Robinson, he might be unavailable, but he also might be available. So we'll see. He's got an upper leg injury, and Matt Miazga was also not in training apparently. So we'll see. We'll see if that will be a factor. But Kevin Denke and Stefan Sherila, both forwards, will actually be away on international duty. So at the very least, their star striker will not be at least in the starting 11. But like aforementioned, Atl Utd, we have 11 players out. And, Caden Moore, probably not a player that he was going to be involved anyway. But, 10 players that are possible first-team players are not going to be available. And, that makes it for very tough to pretty much figure out what that starting 11 is going to be. Also, Jamal Tiare, unknown if he's going to be available. Ronald Hernandez, also unsure. So, it's apparently he was training this week, but hopefully it's not,
it's so disastrous, because it's like, I'm thinking oh goodness gracious, hopefully he can play and be in that center back position. But then I remember the last time he was a center back for us, it was
against FC
calamitous. So it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, holding the line, not his strength, I would say. But and then also it's like it's just like retreating in the box for no reason, and then not marking Lucho Acosta.
He's played out of position. Like he's not. Yeah. That's not what he does. So like
exactly.
He's
5'7". He's not a center back. I mean, it's just he doesn't have the wherewithal to be a center back, but he might have to be our best option, unfortunately. We'll get into this.
Same height as Jordi Alba. Fun fact.
Yeah, right. So, into the starting 11. Breguzan, obviously, between the sticks. Thankfully, we have both of our fullbacks healthy. So, Lennon, Amador. It's probably the easiest.
We're gonna need them big time.
Yep. And Williams is our only available, just like actual out and out center back. So Abram, Gregerson, Morales, Cobb, all out. So, yeah, we're going to have to rely on some Atlanta United 2 players here, and it might not be pretty. But, yeah, aforementioned, Ronald Hernandez probably in that center back role if he is healthy. And if not, pray for rain. And, rain's not even going to help it. Like
we're gonna march AJ out there for the backup center back.
I mean, I am at least 4 inches taller than Ronaldo Hernandez, but
well, keep your phone off vibrate when you're and make sure you're ready for the call.
The problem is he's probably much better on the ball than I am. So yeah, at least markedly way better.
I'm saying if Ronald can't play, then you're gonna get the call.
Totally. Yeah. So into midfield, also, yeah, not without Fortune. We're also without Schleich. So yeah, it's pretty much picking itself a little bit. It's best available, and so yeah. I mean, who would you have? I mean, it's really just who's left. So,
yeah, Tristan Click, if he's capable. Hopefully he is.
Yeah, I know exactly. If Click is not capable, I think we're probably gonna have to go with O'Reilly or something. Will Riley, or I mean somebody.
O'Reilly.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he's gonna need all the positive vibes for sure, and the chance for his name, but. Yeah, and Moranchuk, he is never going to be called on international duty, so yeah, he will be available, and
it'll be a big game for him. Big game for him to make something happen and to show that he can do something. Like, he's under a lot of fire. If a player on this team is on the hot seat, it's him.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of people are maybe calling for his head already, to really wanting him to at least start to do more. And I mean, he's one of the DPs here. He's gonna have to do something to help us. But onto the wings. So Saba wasn't called up for international duty for Georgia, and
surprisingly,
yeah. And so I mean, yeah, maybe in his current form, but even then, it's like his previous form. You would think, yeah. So I guess he's on one of those kind of on the fringes of that Georgia side, but the real question is which side he's going to play on. But I think with the other available winger, it's probably going to be pretty obvious, and kind of a harken back to 2023. So yeah, Xande Silva, Saba, and I would probably play them on the more natural wings, but.
Correct. And I mean, I'm not looking forward to the prospect for Xande because yet, hasn't had a great showing yet this season. Obviously, sample size very low, but it's just, again, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for these players to grab this game and show them that they are, show everyone that they are more than what we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, yeah, Saba on the right, Silva on the left, and of course Latte Lat, he is up top. It's gonna be one of these kind of very as makeshift as it gets, but at the very least, at the tip of the spear with Latte Lat, I mean, any moment of magic can happen, and
he's got to score, right? He's got to score, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things. I think with this squad, it's gonna be very shallow, and what can happen, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that bullish. Let's get into the score prediction though. Mike, what do you got?
I want to say 1-1. We pull a draw.
Okay. I don't know if we have the legs. I'm gonna be honest. It's not gonna be a murder scene, but I think it's a 2-0 loss, and I'm not so sure that we're gonna have that connectivity, because I'm also unsure if Click's gonna play, and if you don't have, I mean, Muyamba doing all the dirty work, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and I won't hold it against you for believing that, considering our past history of playing against Ohio teams during the international break has been a horror show. So it's very, very possible that it can continue to be that way. Hopefully not, but I mean, yeah, I couldn't hold it against you for predicting that.
Right. I mean, it's basically this. It's like lack of depth. You have a makeshift defense, makeshift pretty much midfield, and second choice with no depth for attackers. Whew, boy. Okay. You know, I don't know. It's a recipe.
It's great. It's great when your league really rewards your team for going out and getting really good international players, you know?
Right. Or actually, you know, homegrowns that are doing well and then they get called up. And it's just, yeah, it's like we should, yeah, you know what? I'll get to it. That pretty much does it for our match preview, except for, and the entire episode, except for the
and by the way,
day.
Miami doesn't have to play during international break.
Right. Yeah. Very fascinating. But yeah, that gets us to our question of the day. And the question of the day is, should we just do away with playing during international breaks? Because, yeah, we are being punished.
Yeah, like, uniquely punished. I mean, there are other teams that are they also have that kind of ambition, but we very specifically always do. And we will always can be sure that we will suffer greatly during these time periods.
Yeah, and it's just outrageous. It's like, yeah, how do you expect, not only from a standpoint of you know, the team playing well, but two, the fans actually wanting to watch the game? Like, it's just at this point you're just hacking their legs off and basically saying, okay, yeah, you know, just go ahead and crawl. Because
it's like, and another thing, I just, you know, was thinking that it's like we finally have a 10 that is not going away during the international break because, you know, Russia. So he's not going away for once. And he's unfortunately not doing very well. So it's like we're like, okay, maybe we should go out and get some DP players who don't necessarily go away during a national break so we could have a chance during those games. And then all of a sudden, you know, we do that with Moranchuk, and then he's just like, eh. So hopefully he can do something, and then it'll be like, okay, that's at least, you know, the other, you know, Cincinnati can go like, okay, well, you know, they still had their DP10 and then he did a number on us. So hopefully that's the case. It would make sense, but it's going to look real bad if we're not able to, he's not able to look, he can't exploit them at all against a, not depleted, but a weakened Cincinnati team.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we're weakened beyond belief, and that's the rub. So anyway, that's the question of the day in the episode there and there. So guys, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. For Michael, I'm AJ. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.